I feel like Anna Draws is trolling me.
No,
all she does is write nice video or nice.
Oh, but
well,
she's
she's
a nice.
You're
girl.
trolling me, Anna Draws.
No,
she's, I know
she's a genuine person.
I don't know.
Do you know Anna?
I do know. I don't know Anna on a personal level, obviously, but I know her on a friend
tell
level.
Legendary Duels I said hi.
I won't do that.
Right.
Yeah, that kid's the man.
Hey guys, welcome back to Close Gamers. I'm Pete.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Nick.
And we're back to review Suicide Squad. Jesus, we haven't been back to review a movie in, God,
it's been a busy summer.
A long time. It's been definitely
a
busy summer.
Was it Meg? Was the last one?
Yeah, probably, because we didn't even review Civil War together. It's been a long damn time. We're finally back to review a movie. Hopefully we'll get a couple videos out before the end of the summer, before we all go, back to school.
Yeah.
And you're back to work and everything. But, so, Suicide Squad, highly anticipated movie. I have mixed feelings on it. I think we probably all do. Obviously, everyone's probably seen the whole critics thing, where all the DC fans tried to shut down Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I did.
With the Marvel bias.
Yeah, and apparently, everyone is paid off, by Marvel because, maybe just DC can't make a good movie. I don't know. But besides that, we'll give our thoughts here. So we're going to go into first impressions of the movie. There's no spoilers here, and then you could come back, put us on your watch for later, and come back after you see the movie. So first impressions for me is the second time I saw it tonight. I like it even less the second time. Typically that's not how it is with a movie. Usually you're like, oh, no, I actually liked it more the second time. No. I liked it less the second time. There wasn't anything redeeming for me where I go, man, I want to buy this on Blu-ray. No, and I love the Suicide Squad. Like, I have their comic books in my room right now, like at home. It's just, this isn't that. Like, and people want to argue and be like, listen, hey, it's a comic book brought to life, and the film critics don't understand. They're bullshitting you, because it's just not. It's not a good movie. It's basically, if you want to give, a good, idea of what you're getting into, it's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, except it's way worse. That's basically what you're watching. There's even Spirit in the Sky, the song that's on the Guardians soundtrack,
Greenbaum,
in the movie as well. So it's like, it was like a failed attempt of DC to do that.
I mean, it made more money.
Yeah, but also the Harley Quinn and all that stuff. You want to be in it, so it's not worth seeing. I would say for me, it's just not. As a comic book fan, you could go out and you want to see Harley Quinn. There is some redeeming parts to the movie, but overall, as a movie, no, not for me.
Yeah, well, that's a surprise. I didn't know you disliked it that much. You have also the opinion, as you always do, of the person who's really into the whole comic book world.
So I'm going to be harder on him.
And the two people here aren't really as into it. I've played some of the Batman Arkham games, so I kind of understand a little bit of the universe. But yeah, for myself, it was all right. He saw it for the second time. Me and Nick saw it for the first time tonight. And it was an okay movie. I mean, it was just okay. There was nothing tremendous about it. The one thing I thought it seriously lacked was the humor. I thought that was a serious lacking point. And
a villain.
Yeah,
and a story.
Yeah, right. And a good fight scene even.
A plot.
There were a couple characters that I liked, and I guess that's more for the like-dislike section. But just general impressions, it was just kind of, there were a lot of overall stale parts of the movie that I think you could really...
Cringeworthy parts.
Yeah, cringeworthy especially. And it was just overall, it was just bland. It was just a bland movie.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't hate it, especially not as much as the critics did.
It's not that bad.
It wasn't that. It's not like a 27%. I probably... I'll give my score later.
Like a 1.
But, it wasn't a great movie, there was enjoyable parts. It was dark, it was sort of gritty,
right.
Which is what they went for, but some of it, fell flat.
It's what this whole DC universe does.
Yeah, it's a lot of things
everything has to be dark. And I don't have a problem with dark. Suicide Squad should be dark. There are a bunch of horrible people that fucking kill people.
Yep.
It should be dark. It just doesn't have to be a poorly written movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing around this movie is that, they had a tough timeline, some of the tightest timelines ever to make a movie.
Really?
Apparently the script was written in 6 weeks. So it kind of shows.
It does show. The plot is very loose.
Yeah.
Like some parts are raw. Like the pacing's very weird.
Yeah.
But visually, there were some good parts, and some bad parts. One specifically, which I'll go into.
We'll go into. Was that your first impression?
Yeah, it was okay.
Right. So we'll go into likes. In this movie, I don't have a ton of likes. I'll say I liked Harley Quinn.
Obviously,
I liked Margot Robbie. It's not just because she's an attractive woman. I think she suffers at some parts, and this kind of is a little bit into my dislikes. That she's only given pretty much one-liners the whole movie. And, like, it's like, okay, like, that kind of... And half of them, especially the good ones, are already seen in the couple trailers. So it's like, well, I know that's coming.
Yeah.
Well, I know that's coming.
They did that with a lot of their supposedly best lines, I thought, of the
exactly.
movie. Yeah.
So, like, you know, that was a poor part of it. But she was still had the accent. She still was Harley Quinn from the animated series, from the comic books, where you felt like, all right, this is something I want to see more in other movies.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that. I thought Deadshot and Will Smith was great. Yeah, is Will Smith doing Will Smith? Yes.
Obviously, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he's a good Floyd Lawton. He's still Deadshot. Yes, anyone could have played that character, but I liked him. He's probably the best part of this movie.
Easily.
That he leads it. I enjoyed that. And I like Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. She's exactly what Amanda Waller should be. She's a horrible person. She gets the job done, but does it in really, really bad ways, where she's not afraid to go into those kind of gray, even sometimes just completely horrible, evil areas. So I did like that. But otherwise, there's a couple lines here and there I like, a couple scenes I like, you know, character interactions, but not enough likes for me beyond there.
Yeah, well, that's fair. You kind of took my main like. I thought Will Smith was I thought he was amazing. I thought he was really great. For me, I've always loved Will Smith as an actor and as a person. I just think he's a really nice guy. I've watched a lot. I'm just a big Will Smith fan, so I don't really know Deadshot too well, again, outside of this movie, honestly. Therefore, I didn't have an opinion on him coming in, so I know there's probably some comic book fans that say, well, he didn't really play Deadshot in the comics. I don't know. If
no, he pretty much does. They even tease a little bit like of him and Harley there.
Yeah,
a little, and that's something that they've explored before.
Okay, good. So then, I guess that's not even a complaint, because I thought he just played the character really well. I thought they gave him the best background. And as you said with Harley Quinn, a lot of her major character development, she wasn't really talking through it. It was a lot of flashbacks and reading into her mind. And that I don't really like as much as kind of delivering it in person.
Just where it was put in the movie.
Yeah, and so he was my main like. I really liked him. And other than that, I mean, again, that's why I said you kind of took my like, because there was nothing that really stood out other than that to me. So I don't really have, I did like the Katana girl.
Yeah,
I liked her.
Good.
I mean, she didn't have a major role, but I enjoyed her. I thought she was a good character.
She's a good character. I just didn't think they used her that well.
Yeah, well, she wasn't really utilized at all. I mean,
I think she spoke 2 English words in the whole movie.
Yeah.
So
I know. So and I guess So I mean,
not a thief. I think.
Yeah.
So like
I think that's right she said.
Yeah, that's pretty much that for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Not many likes. As they both said, Will Smith did a great job. I'm a fan of Will Smith as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was hard to be fair, it was hard to mess up, you know, like, this character, Will Smith, kind of goes hand in hand. If you fucked it up, it would have been a shock to me. Margot Robbie, I know, you know.
She's great.
Great. She did.
In love with her.
Yeah, I mean,
apparently
I didn't know that until, Pete mentioned something, but, attractive, obviously, but also a good Harley Quinn. I thought that was cool. I thought there was just some cool visual stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a fan of like some of the like really dark, you know, just like dark images and whatnot. But otherwise, maybe not too much. I kind of dug the whole dynamic between Deadshot and Flag. Like I thought there was a good like there was good chemistry there. It seemed so that was cool, but. Otherwise, nothing really.
Oh, and also, I forget, it's like Alex Ross or someone. Someone created the old, you'll know what I'm talking about, the old Joker Harley Quinn painting. It's like a very classic painting. They did a cool, like a little quick, like 5-second homage to that. That was cool to see in the movie when they
When she's in the classic costume.
Yeah, in the red and black and the way the spotlight's on. That's an old classic, like super famous painting. So that was cool to see an homage to that.
When she's going through her costumes when they give it back, it's there.
It's in there as well. So yeah, you see like the little things like her having the mallet and and stuff like that. And the relationship between her and the Joker is interesting. It works for me in some parts where it's like, okay, these two are obsessed with each other. And I like that. And it's a different taken away because like it's not like the Joker is not cared about Harley Quinn before, but for the most part he doesn't give a shit. Like, I mean, he's been physically abusive before. He's like implied raped her before. Like, so like I understand we don't want to be putting that in the movies or violence against women. I get that, but like the dynamic they had when he was like completely obsessed with her, it worked in some parts and didn't in other stuff. So I guess going into dislikes, buckle up because there's plenty of them. Well, let's start just with the making of the movie in general. Not only with the 6 weeks timeline and everything else. I mean, you could see in this movie, it's rushed. I mean, the editing in this movie is atrocious. I mean, it's so bad. I hate it.
Didn't they reshoot scenes too?
Yeah, they reshot scenes, and then Jared Leto's been, complaining about how many Joker scenes they've cut out recently. That you could basically take all the Joker cut scenes into its own movie, which means that's a lot of scenes.
That's like an hour and a half worth of scenes.
Exactly. So that seems really odd, especially that now there's fans petitioning online, as they always do, that want their money back from DC, and there's a few suing them because they said there was false advertising because there's many Joker scenes in the trailers that are not in the movies.
I can't wait to show you my toys.
I remember the one Bye-Bye where he's shooting the guns and the guys are shooting at him.
Yeah, and his face is like half burnt. Not in the movie at all.
Yeah.
Like, so...
Really bizarre.
Yeah, so a lot of weird stuff. I don't like the soundtrack in this movie, and not that mean like people like Queen are bad. Just there is so many songs, it is not even... There's got to be like 25 songs.
I'm actually going to get to that in mind.
Every character has a song. Every moment. And the songs are so on the nose, it's not even funny. I mean, like, just like having, like, Slim Shady's in there. And then just like, Bell, when they go to Bell Rev in Louisiana, it was with House of the Rising Sun, I think was playing. Right, it's like, okay, I get it. Like,
it's not really tongue-in-cheek, it's actually like in your face. Like, this song's about Louisiana.
Yeah, and just like, it has like Harley Quinn's getting ready and like, oh, You Don't Own Me is playing. It's like, yeah, we got it. Like, ha ha ha, hilarious. There was another one that pissed me off so bad that I can't think of. But it was in one of the flashbacks. The song pissed me off so bad. So, like, those are moments where it's, like, the basis of the movie, I'm like, I hate you. And, like, when I can notice the music and it's, like, doesn't, like, grab me into the experience, then that's a problem. Or just, like, this whole marketing campaign has been about color, and, like, oh, look at the Suicide Squad. It's different. It's not Batman v Superman and super fucking dark. And then every goddamn scene is in the rain. And it's at night. And it's like, DC, like, we can be dark and in the daytime. Like, it doesn't have to always be nighttime. And, like, I don't know. And there's effects that don't look at in this movie. I mean, Nick T leaned over to me and was just like, that effect for the prison scene with Diablo was not good,
it's like,
right?
Here's a video of the prison riot.
And they show it, like, twice.
And
I'm
like, that was so
terrible.
Bad. It was very bad.
And even his effects in general for most of the movie are not good. The Enchantress's brother... terrible, looks awful, like just not good effects for a high budget big DC comic book movie. It's not good. It's just not. Like those are just some of the basic problems I have right there. I mean, I'll get into characters after you guys say some stuff. I can't even.
Yeah, well, and I know you're heated and you have a right to be, but well, first of all, suing DC is kind of dumb.
Too far. It's stupid.
Fans petition.
Yeah, I know. They do. But I will say that is something that annoyed me. Almost every Joker line was in that trailer, and they showed him so much in the trailer that I was under the impression, as someone who doesn't know the Suicide Squad from the comics, that he was going to be a major part of this movie.
You would think that the Suicide Squad's going in to stop him.
Yeah, well, you could think that as well. Yeah, right. Well, that's another thing. You didn't really have an idea of who the main villain was, which I guess was
fine.
A
mission.
And the main villain in my opinion, just there was nothing. There was
Flat.
no character development
Flat.
for her. She ends up going to in the subway. She summons her brother, which we learned she has a brother like that.
But can we just back up for a quick second,
Yeah.
if you don't mind? Let's think about the thought process of not only this movie but of the characters in the movie, right? So
There's too many
Enchantress,
characters.
part of the Suicide Squad, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
She's
Which is supposed to
joining
be,
the Suicide Squad. Then you basically have no control of the Enchantress.
Mhm.
You have her heart, but like she hates you, right?
Yeah.
So you're in the subway. You go, oh man, the only thing I could get near Enchantress, that near this thing is the Enchantress. First of all, red flag right there. Then she bolts immediately when June changes into the Enchantress. She creates this huge weapon that starts destroying the world. You fucking created the
Yeah.
whole problem
Yep, created the
that
whole
you
thing.
started the Suicide Squad for.
Yep.
Like, she even released her brother in the first place.
Yeah, I know. I know the whole
Yeah, it was
thing
all-
was just
it was
dumb.
very- yeah.
It was it was just all man created, really. It was self created. Which, yeah, that was just an issue that I had. And she gets summoned. She doesn't really have any. I mean, I guess you learn that she's a 6,000-year-old person and whatever. And then that fight scene was also not the one so much with her brother. The one with her, I didn't like at all because it was dark. You couldn't. I guess that's who she is, where she kind of teleports and transforms.
But you
and
can't
everything.
see a single thing.
Yeah, you can't see a single thing.
Mhm.
That was a major, major issue that I had, that you finally get this fight scene. There were really no great fight scenes, which is
No.
hard to do when you have that many
There's a
characters.
lot of they zoom in too much on some
Yeah.
of those fight scenes,
Yeah.
and you have no idea
Mhm.
what the hell's going on, who's fighting who,
Yep.
who's dying.
The,
You have no
the
idea.
coolest thing I could take from that was Deadshot, of course,
Oh,
and
right.
when he was on the car.
Yeah, it's
when
the
all
best
those,
scene in the movie.
When all those things were coming and he's just shooting them, and everyone just stopped shooting.
Yeah, that's
because they
how
don't
I
have
cut
to
and
shoot.
run. That's the
Yeah.
best scene in the movie.
And what I don't understand either is they didn't explain that when you sacrifice humans and when the evil people, the brother and sister, sacrifice humans and they become these. I mean, we didn't even get a name for
Things.
them. We didn't get a name for them. And when we first saw them, we just had to kind of infer that, oh, I guess this is what happens when they get killed by the brother.
Right.
And then they show that later after the fact. But then after the fact, there's no more fight scenes with them. Why wouldn't you show that beforehand?
Yeah.
So at least
No
you
idea.
know
Well, there's
what's
like
coming.
one when they get jumped in the.
Yeah.
But that's
Right.
it. Yeah.
Right. But yeah.
It's just terrible. And also, just don't forget that she also has to make out with every person that comes in
everyone.
to turn them into
Right,
whatever that was.
which is
Like,
just over the
so-
top sexualization.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Oh, well, even the way
Well,
she's dressed, the way
yeah.
her whole costume was
Yeah.
like, how many ass shots do we have of Harley Quinn in this
Yeah,
movie? Like,
well,
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
Oh.
sex sells, so from a business standpoint, I understand what they're trying to do, but it's just too in your face. That's the problem with the things that they try to do in this movie, in terms of that, and in terms of a lot of other things. But
and also in that fight scene, if I could just make a quick point,
Right.
Yeah.
she's the Enchantress. She's a master of magic. Okay, extremely powerful
She
in the
worships as a
comic books,
goddess.
right?
Yeah.
And she's fighting all of them with swords.
Mhm.
With swords, she's teleporting with swords. And then it's like she got bored of it. She's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's right, I can take
Yeah.
away all your
Yeah.
guns. And I'm like, you could have just
Yeah.
did that from the start.
Yeah.
And then just completely annihilated them and they would have had no chance against you whatsoever.
Yeah, and then probably one of Harley Quinn's best scenes is when she was like, fooled.
Betrays it, yeah.
Because you really don't know what she's thinking because she's insane, but
Right.
then she betrays
But
it.
that
also,
was
like,
kinda cool,
the
actually.
sword happens to be there and she knows it's going to cut her heart out.
And
like,
you
oh,
think
God.
that if you're in the Enchantress, the second she gets the sword, she teleport away.
Yep.
So that's even a little fuzzy. But I
Exactly.
mean, just trying to give some
Yeah, I
credit.
don't want to compare it to Marvel, but Guardians of the Galaxy is the same thing.
Yeah,
it has a bunch of horrible people who are criminals, who are murderers, and what do? They come together at the end of the movie, and they fight a villain, and you get it. You go, holy
And
shit.
they even break out of jail too.
That's the movie where they fight Rihanna, right? Rihanna's the main villain. in that
Yeah.
movie? Okay.
Yeah. Like, you get it where you're like, I get how they're all, like, kind of a family, like they're a team. In
Right.
this movie, not at all.
Yeah,
like,
they're
in
barely a
Suicide
team.
Squad, it's like, when they're at the end, they're like, you're messing with my family. I'm like,
Well, since when?
you just hated him like 30 minutes ago. Like, what do you mean family?
Yeah.
Deadshot would have almost just killed Harley Quinn. Like, wait, what are you talking about?
it was-
Family? Like, it makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. It's like, they're also in Guardians of the Galaxy, they're a bunch of renegades fighting a way more powerful villain, right? And it's the same thing in this movie, except that movie, it made it believable. It's like, I get how they beat him.
Yeah, and this.
And
is
this,
like,
it's like, how did she lose?
yeah,
Like,
that was stupid.
Another thing to add to that point, that goes back to the bad pacing. These group of villains in Suicide Squad weren't together until maybe more than halfway through the movie when they were in that.
No, because they spent the whole first half introducing them.
Not
in these
even
long gratuitous introduction scenes with their own music, and it's like
I timed it the first time I seen it. 30 minutes into the movie, you're at the final scene, the final battle scene in Midway City. You're there the entire rest of the movie. 30 minutes in, you're there the entire rest of the movie. That's how bad pacing is.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
So I guess we'll get to
Well, any of the dislikes you had?
Yeah. It might be nitpicking, but as I mentioned before, there was a few specific effect things that looked like really, really bad. One being the riot. Another is when both Harley and the Joker jumped in that vat of the initial dive into the acid. Really bad.
What was that? Because it wasn't acid.
It's Ace Chemicals.
Which wasn't explained at all.
That's how the Joker was created.
Right.
Okay.
So that was just an homage.
And then when the Enchantress is using mind manipulation
and just
people.
dancing like this.
Yeah.
Everyone.
They all have a clear all the minds of the characters have a clear vision, and then it gets to flags, and it's like. What? Why is there
because you have they don't establish him and June Moon's relationship.
Yeah, so
it's like I don't give a shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't care about that.
Here's a really big lens flare and half of her face. It's
God.
It was weird.
Even the eye effects, when her eyes, her
and it
pupils
kept
light
changing.
Up, was terrible.
That was really bad. What other stuff did I dislike? To kind of bounce add onto the music thing, there was a lot of music and some of it fitting, some of it not. But the original music, the songs that they had commissioned for this, given the 21 Pilots song, that Imagine Dragons song, garbage, and the Skrillex and Rick Ross song, Purple Lamborghini, so bad.
It just
really, really bad.
Terrible.
I also took a little bit of issue with them. Of course, Margot Robbie is good, attractive, but they really focused on her sexuality as opposed to her ability as an actress, and they should have done it the other way around because she actually can be a strong actress.
Yeah, and I get it. Harley Quinn has used her sexuality before. It's part of her character that she uses to her advantage. I get it. There's a difference between doing that and having her be a stripper in a club.
Yeah,
for the
that
Joker.
was unnecessary.
And dancing on another woman, and it's okay, it's not serving any purpose here. Or every shot that she's in, I don't need to see her ass. It's lovely and I get it. It's just I know she's in short shorts. You don't have to start the camera up. It's I got it.
You
don't have to put it in my face. It's all right.
Literally too, because we were in the first row when that was a nightmare.
Horrible.
To be fair, that might have made the movie worse.
Yeah,
but I don't think it did because I sat in another row the other night. It's even worse tonight.
Yeah.
And oh god, even the scenes that you're supposed to her in the elevator. They talked about that elevator scene forever, and just
that does remind me. One major dislike is the twist where it's the person they're extracting is Amanda, and it was so anticlimactic. Oh, it's her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was expecting.
That's the twist.
The first time I saw that, I was like, oh my god, we're going to get a huge DC cameo. It's going to be someone huge. Who the hell is it? It's Amanda Waller.
He's wow.
Oh, so she's an idiot and didn't leave the city and that's who we're attracting? Yep. Oh, well, that also makes no sense. That how did she know she was going to be stuck there and needed the Suicide Squad?
It was all dumb.
To the problem that they created in the first place. But that it started 3 days ago. But wait, it didn't, because then they called it in the Suicide Squad after it immediately happened. So waited 3 days past between there.
No sense.
No idea whatsoever. The weirdest thing. Oh, you have this huge magical being? Oh, fuck, I left a huge demo charge in the sewer. Yeah, that'll kill him. So regular weapons kill the giant magical monster.
Also, is it understandable that they didn't call Batman for that mission?
Yeah, I guess.
Did you complain about that, or as
no? Because I don't know what Batman would have done in that scene, but he probably would have done better than all of them. Because the only one who had real power was Diablo, and he died.
Yeah,
and fucking killed him.
It was supposed to be I think, a very emotional scene. It didn't really affect me.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you wanted.
There was actually no emotional attachment in this movie at all.
And just it's up.
I would have felt bad if Deadshot got killed.
I think he was it. He was the only character.
Because they gave you a connection with his daughter, which yes, it's a basic connection, but it's at least
one
it's
many
still
people
something.
can relate to. Yeah, it's one many people.
Him walking past the window and seeing the coat that looks like his daughter's coat. You get things like that where Diablo, yeah, it's a sad scene of him killing his family. I get it, but like, it's like we didn't get that until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And then he's dead 10 minutes later.
Right, and then before that, all he goes is we know he doesn't want to use his powers, but then you keep showing us a video where he clearly uses it in the prison yard, which is after he got arrested for not wanting to use his powers because he killed his family. But then he was cool with using his powers?
It does make sense.
Where does that fit in? Like, it makes no sense whatsoever. And like, you have Slipknot, who joins the team.
Oh, and dies.
They don't even mention it. He gets no intro scene, basically nothing. When Amanda Waller's in that congressional meeting, whatever it is, he's just on the screen in the background. I noticed that the second time.
Oh.
Then he talks to Captain Boomerang for 30 seconds, and he's there just to get his head blown up. So we go like, yo, she means business. Like, that's literally, it's the same thing in the animated movie, Assault on Arkham, when they kill KG Beast. Literally the same purpose. He came in, he goes, oh, you're a bullshit artist. She said, oh yeah, try me. Walks out, gets his head blown off. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's all he was a purpose for. It's like, okay, Katana's not using this movie properly. It's like, there's a scene where she's just hysterically crying and talking to her dead husband and her sword.
No relevance, really.
But we don't know anything about her. Everything we know about her, Rick Flag explains to us. Who you want to talk about, a flat-ass character. And I like Joel Kinnaman. Yeah. He just is flat as hell. Like, his relationship is flat. Everything he says, like, I don't even believe his accent. Like, that's how fucking flat that shit is.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah,
I just...
I don't know if it was that bad. But, damn.
Oh, no. I'm not feeling it. And the final thing I saved is the Joker. Okay, let's just get started here. All right, so the Joker, we've always seen about 8 or 10 minutes of footage of him, despite what the marketing bullshit believes. Okay, so we need to see him in a Batman solo film. I'll judge him after that.
Right.
There's some scenes that I'm like, or, you know, lines I'm like, yeah, that was really good. That was Joker. Like, you know, like when he said the hunka hunka, or that line.
Yeah,
like, it's like, that's Joker.
Classic.
Or like when he's shooting them from the helicopter and trying to kill them all when he's rescuing Harley. That's Joker, laughing maniacally. The other things... where he's like a gang boss pimp with literally a gold cane that he's sitting in a cupboard.
And it's a pinky ring that he makes the guy kiss.
And it's like, when did he become the Don? Like, he's had a gang before in the Arkham games and things like that, but like, when is he an Italian mob boss? When did what comic did I miss where that happened? And then Common's in this movie for 5 seconds and gets shot in the face because he said one thing about Harley Quinn. Like,
oh, that's Common?
That's Common.
That is Common.
Okay, like, and it's like, yes, Joker is he would be protective in that sense, or just pissed off that you even mentioned Harley in that sense of saying, oh, she's a bad bitch, but while she was strip dancing or whatever the fuck that was. But like, just in this movie, it's just Joker's just no, like that's not how the Joker is. The tattoo specifically that he has right here on his hand. Fuck you. Whoever thought of that, fuck you. When he puts up to his face, I cringe so bad when that happened. Yeah. It's like, God, that was so fucking bad. I didn't like the tattoos when they came out. Some of them work for me now, some of them don't. You know, that one I don't like still. I don't like how he has Joker written on his stomach.
Yeah, that was kind
of... Not for me. The metal teeth is fine, or the J or whatever else. It's like, but just, oh, God. No. I need to see more. And Jared Leto is intense. He's into the role. I heard about, you know, you read about all the weird shit he did with the cast and how he prepared for the role. It's just, that's not, the Joker's supposed to be funny. Like, he's supposed to be evilly funny. Like, where he, actually comes up with these horrible things, but he thinks they're hilarious.
There's, a punchline.
Not here at all. Like, it's just, he's absolutely way too obsessed with Harley. Like...
And maybe that's because he wasn't meant to have a big role in this movie, but they advertised it like he was going to have a pretty big role.
That should have been the mission. You keep it small. The mission should have been Joker is fucking shit up with his gang in Midway City. You need to get him. Yeah. Because, you know, we can't, for some reason, we can't get him in here. There's some government tie-up, and we need someone who's off the books. Just like he did in Assault on Arkham. It was the same thing with the Riddle and the Joker there. It's literally said they keep it small. Not everything has to be the Enchantress, a huge magical being that could fight the Justice League in the comics. That's how powerful she is. And now she starts destroying the world because in all these comic books, it has to, Marvel or DC, every world or the universe has to be at risk because why the fuck not?
Like, well, that's
Ant-Man kept it small.
Civil
Yeah.
War did pretty good too, where that wasn't like the main.
Yeah,
You thought it was, but it turned out it wasn't. So
yeah. It just
but most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, and one other quick thing. You give us the bios on screen for like a half a
You
second.
can't possibly
You
read all
can't
of that.
possibly read all of the probably
No.
really interesting thing. Like when that comes out on DVD, I'll look that up on
Yep.
YouTube
Yeah.
and just see what the things are.
Yeah,
and pause
pause.
it.
Yeah.
There's a thing in there that I caught the second time that you leaned over to me. That was just like, it looks like Harley Quinn was an accomplice or was at least present in the murder of Robin. But you would
see the words
barely
Robin real
catch
quick,
that.
and it's
Yeah.
like, okay.
Because some of them, like
Yeah,
for like
I
Rick
did hear
Flag,
about
are
that.
very military, so it like goes do 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 do. It
No,
sacks
hers
that,
is like
and then
here,
hers
it's
is like
like-
all
yeah.
over the goddamn screen, especially in the first row.
Yeah.
You can't see
So
shit.
especially, yeah, exactly. So if your eyes are following it, the Robin thing's like one of the last things you
Yeah.
see, and then it's like,
And
what
there's-
did it say?
And there's some interesting stuff in there, like the Rick Flag one I caught the first time. Like the last thing it says is it like says
Above
golfs with
three, yeah.
golfs with a three
Three
handicap.
handicap, yeah, I saw
Like
that.
there's some interesting, funny things in
Yeah.
there. You got to. We can't possibly read that fast as an audience. Like you have to.
Yeah.
You have to
slow it
help us
down,
out
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess going into ratings here.
yeah.
I think you guys should go first on this one.
Okay. Next, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, I guess I'll start it off. Like I said, I mean, obviously there was a lot of dislikes, way outweigh the likes.
You know.
But to be fair, in spite of all that, I didn't hate it. It wasn't great, but I didn't hate it. I'll give it like a 4.5, which is low for me because I
Okay.
like most things.
4.5 out of
but-
10.
Yeah, 4.5 out of
Yeah.
10.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. I didn't like it. I mean, it's not that I didn't like it, but I didn't love it, and it's a shame because I really love the characters in this universe.
I love DC
Yeah.
so much. Why
And so
can't
I
you make
wanna-
a good movie?
I mean, the one good thing that I'll take from this is, again, it did well in the box, and as long as they keep making money, they're going to keep making movies.
No.
Maybe we'll
And
do one right
Cross your
eventually.
fingers
Yeah.
for Wonder Woman.
that's what. Well,
That's next.
yeah, that one I don't know about that one, but I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. It was just all over the place. I want to give it a 5, 5.5, but
Yeah.
I
You
don't.
can.
Yeah, I just can't. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah, for seeing Harley Quinn for the first time on screen, for seeing, things like Deadshot and things like that, and hope for the universe in seeing things,
I still do have hope for the universe.
I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. It's just, it doesn't have, like, for everything that Batman v Superman was and wasn't.
I enjoyed that
There
a
was
lot
still
more.
moments where I sat up in my chair and was like,
Mhm.
holy shit.
I enjoyed
Like,
that a lot
there's
more.
never a moment in this where
Mhm.
where I think anything important is going to happen. I mean, even the after credit scene in this movie is like, oh, he's
Yeah,
forming
that
the
was
Justice
actually
League.
really
No fucking shit. Like,
anticlimactic.
he's forming the Justice League. We just saw that a few days ago in your Comic-Con special footage. You didn't, match up those two things. Like, oh yeah, our after credit scene shows the exact same thing as the trailer, except the trailer does even a better job because it shows more footage.
Hmm.
It's like here, it just passes him a folder of like, oh, there's Enchantress, which I don't know why she's in
She
there.
shouldn't even have been
And then,
there.
oh, there's Barry, and there's Aquaman. All right, well, I'll protect you, Waller. Oh, well, she knows you're Batman. Oh, well, no shit. And all right.
It was.
And it's, of course, raining then in that scene, because everything's dark and raining in
Everything's
this universe.
dark. Everything's dark.
I'm pretty sure it always rains in Gotham.
Yeah, so it's, I don't know. It just, even the scenes of Batman in this movie, that was another thing I was going to say. Him grabbing Harley works. Him grabbing Deadshot, not really. And also the way he comes down didn't look good at all.
No.
So I guess overall, guys, that's our thoughts here on the movie Suicide Squad. God, I hate hating on DC. I really do. I'm not a Marvel fanboy. I really hate hating on DC, but let us know what you thought of the movie down below. I think this is another strike for DC, but we'll have maybe hope for Wonder Woman
They made
and
money.
Justice League
They
next
made
year.
plenty of money,
So there's 2 major movies next year, so get your shit together, DC. But
Good luck.
making money is not just, they need to be good.
That's true.
Well,
but-
they'll have the funding
Yeah.
to possibly make a good movie.
and they'll still have the
Or maybe get some good special effects. I don't know. But, let us know what you thought of the movie down below. Your likes, your dislikes of the movie. Do you agree with us? Is there maybe too many points that we're nitpicking that you don't see?
Maybe a little.
Are we Marvel fanboys? Let us know down below. And any other thoughts you have on the film. And let us know what you think about the future of the DC universe. Do you have hope for Justice League and Wonder Woman next year? And what characters do you want to see that were in Suicide Squad? What do you want to see in other movies? You want to see Joker in the solo Batman film that's supposedly coming out in a couple of years? Would you like to see Harley Quinn again or Deadshot? And what other characters would you not like to see? Enchantress, even though she's dead, don't want to see her anymore.
One thing to say, is it true that Harley Quinn's getting her own movie?
It's supposedly in the works.
I don't.
Because I keep seeing this Facebook video going around.
So the issue.
Don't trust Facebook.
The issue with DC is that a lot of rumors come out with it. So supposedly it's a true thing, but I don't know if that's going to stick to it as well because I don't see her leading a movie. I don't. See
I heard like Poison Ivy would be in it. And
yeah,
that would be pretty cool. Batgirl.
Like I own again a Harley Quinn comic book. Like it's her like out on her own first time without the Joker, and she has Poison Ivy in that. It just I don't know if that works.
Poison Ivy.
I don't know if that works on the movies.
We'll see.
So
okay,
yeah. So let us know any other thoughts you have down below, and give us your rating for the movie. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends if you'd be so kind, and until next movie review, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.